There are a few things you could say about New York wrestling crowds. They're energized, they're boisterous, they're electric, but the one thing you can say for certain, they love themselves some professional wrestling, and they were up at the beginning, they were up at the end, they supercharged this goddamn show, and they were up for so goddamn much. Let's talk about it all, shall we? I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite from Long Island, New York. At the UBS Arena, capacity is around 18,500. I'm thinking they had probably somewhere around 8 to 9,000 people, but you know what? Those people were absolutely up. They were up for pretty much everything on this show. Excalibur, Taz, Shivani on commentary, and they started hot. Ricky Starks, opening the show. This big grudge match with Juice Robinson, who's already in the ring. We didn't even know that he was in the ring, so we're thinking, okay, this big old grudge match. Even though it's kind of been hot-shotted, let's see what happens. Ricky Starks is there, his music suddenly ends, and then Bullet Club and whoosh, and what the hell? It's the Switchblade, Jay White, and, well, guess he ain't going to WWE, folks. I mean, I'm not too surprised he actually went to AEW, in all honesty. I think that his style is more suited to be in AEW. He has more friends there, and you know what? Even though him and Finn Balor have a kinship, because of because of their days in New Japan, it does make sense why he went to AEW. And big pop, real big pop, and 2-on-1. Even though I'm kind of sick of the Bullet Club stuff, and I've never personally been the biggest fan of Jay White, at least this is a big goddamn deal, and he's a big get for them. He will obviously be a main event player for them. And they're going to love him. They're going to love him there. And they beat up Ricky Starks. Ricky tries to make a comeback, and then the Blade Runner lays out Ricky Starks. So, okay, Ricky's going to need friends. So who's going to be Ricky's friend to take on this power team here? Because Bullet Club is everywhere. Whether we like it or not, it is literally everywhere. But big opening. Not a match. They didn't wait till the end. They said, let's just start this shit off hot. And they did. So we get a package on Adam Cole's return, and then Shivani's with Jericho. And Jericho says, it was cool that you came back. I'm always happy when one of the talents comes back from injury. But then you had the celebration. Well, Daniel Garcia, one of the best wrestlers, is just laying there. You treat him like a piece of crap. And he's complaining about something dragging on. Chris Jericho complaining about something dragging on. Like the feuds of his that have drug on for the last few years. He's complaining about something dragging on and disrespect. And then Keith Lee shows up and says, I've had my issues with Adam Cole, my matches with Adam Cole, but, I respect him enough. Even though I don't care for him as a person, I respect him as a performer. And you want to talk about disrespect? Maybe I'll disrespect you next week. So we're getting that match. I mean, that's different. I don't know how good it's going to be, but it could be, it's at least different. I'll give him that much. So then lights out. It's the House of Black. Okay, they're making their entrance. And who are they going to face? The Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, and Trent's mom has a new van. So this is automatically silly and stupid, but then again, Orange Cassidy is involved, and the Best Friends are involved in this gimmick that has not been good. Ever. House of Black took twice as long to beat them in this Trios Championship match. And look, there are people that like the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy, like their shtick. That's fine. I have nothing against them as people. I didn't like this. Because it's the same as it ever was. Rick Knox was the referee, so you might as well have no referee at all. And eventually stomp on Taylor 1, 2, 3. So there we go. That's just pretty much it right there. Not exactly the best start, for the first match, but then again, they had to do... They got some talents that they really could utilize here, and there are some talents they need to just cut. Like, cut or let the contracts expire and let them go. Because there are some people that just feel so goddamn bland. This 15 minutes from the entrances to the end of the match for this. And then Jamie Hayter gets a big pop. I love Jamie Hayter as a wrestler and as just an incredibly attractive woman. Good God. Jamie Hayter took on... Jamie Hayter with Britt Baker in her corner to take on. Her name is Rio, and she's the fluffer woman. No, I can't do these lyrics because I'm off the tracks. And the fact that this match went on for 10 minutes, man. Jamie Hayter should have clotheslined her once and pinned her flat. You cannot tell me that Jamie Hayter, who can be a world beater, can be an incredible goddamn athlete, shouldn't have spiked Riho within 30 goddamn seconds. I don't care that Riho can do the goddamn moves. I have nothing against her as a person, but the fact that this freaking twig took Jamie Hayter to the limit for nearly 12 goddamn minutes? No. No. How dare you? Tony Khan might as well just admit he doesn't care about the women's division. Yes, there are people like Riho, and if you like Riho, that's fine. I'm sorry. She's embarrassing to watch. She's not a bad person. She's embarrassing to watch as a wrestler. It's not realistic. It's just not. I hate to be sizist, but this is ridiculous. There was an apron bump that should have broken Riho in half. And she was getting near falls on the champ. She got a near fall where Jamie had to get her foot on the goddamn rope. And then finally, the ripcord lariat, the Haterade 1, 2, 3. That should have been maybe 3 to 4 minutes if you wanted to give her some. But god damn it. Thank fuck that's over with what I wrote down. And then Renee's with the Outcasts. Toni Storm, who looks like she's waiting to get on a bus elsewhere. Ruby Soho, that just looks checked out. Tony Khan needs to be brought up on capital charges for signing Saraya. Saraya, defender of Abusiverse, whatever. They're going to target Jamie Hayter. Don't you dare give the title to either one of these three. At this point, I don't want to see them on my television. So anyway, and the 2.0 and Jake Hager, trio are on the stage. They want an answer from the Acclaimed if the Acclaimed will join the Jericho Appreciation Society. Caster does a rap, the Acclaimed are back in Long Island. The Jericho is more full of shit than George Santos, which, let's be honest, George Santos is full of shit. Jericho probably agrees with him. And let's be perfectly honest, if you agree with George Santos, you're full of shit too. And if you agree with Jericho about certain things, you're full of shit. The JAS stands for Just Acclaimed Scissoring. And then, one of the members of 2.0, I don't remember who the hell it was, I don't care, was like, oh wait, we hear that you want to team with us, so let's have an 8-man tag on Rampage. Why? Why are they trying to cool off the goddamn Acclaimed? Why? Also, I did like the LMAO Cody sign in the crowd. That was pretty funny. That was pretty goddamn funny. That was at some point during the earlier part of the broadcast, I believe, because I made note of it, but a few things were a little bit out of order. This is stupid. This was stupid, though. The Acclaimed should be going after the tag titles at some point. They shouldn't be associating with these goons from the Jericho Appreciation Society. You want to talk about somebody that should be canned? Jake Hager. Jake Hager has done nothing to earn the money, and he probably has been paid close to, I say, $1 million since he started. I'd be very surprised if he was not paid close to that. For a guy that is barely worth a tenth of that. So anyway, we get to the highlight of the goddamn program, in all honesty, and no shock, MJF's involved. And he gets the key to Oyster Town. It's silly and ridiculous. This is a pre-tape thing with the mayor, Joseph, very Italian last name. And then you think that's going to be it. Oh no, it's MJF Day, and he's got a big old band, with saxophone, and it's got jazz band, all that stuff and everything, and they're just having fun. They love MJF here. He is soaking all this in. He's making sure the crowd just eats this up. And then he sings Rains, Pennies from Heaven, which I'm not really that familiar with. MJF can sing. He can absolutely sing. People reminded me, well, yeah, he can sing. Remember the Dinner Debonair scene? Yeah, I try not to remember that because that nearly killed off MJF. Because it was embarrassing. He's enjoying this. So is the crowd. This was great shit. Absolutely check out this segment. And then Joseph Saladino, who I think might have had something to do with the death of Dino Bravo. That's mean. I don't think he did. Maybe he did. Let's move on from this horrible accusation that I made. And he's making sure, don't boo him or whatever. I just got the key to the city. This is really important to me. And then he mentions the Pillars and then zeroes in on Jack Perry and talks about his girlfriend with the wandering eye and how he's got a small dick. And then how he had ADD, and how MJF talks about how he had ADD in school ADD chants. And then talked about a teacher named Mrs. Benedict who said, "Oh, you're never going to amount to anything, or whatever." The chance, it's like, why do you always have a wandering mind in my class? Well, I'm thinking about professional wrestling, becoming a world champion. She said the chances of that are slim to none. Well, it looks like your math was a little bit off, and they're just a stupid bitch, and it's great, and it's great stuff. And I'm proof that you can, if you work your ass off, you can be anything you want to be except me, because I'm MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it. It's great. And then he goes back up to the band, and there's a new person there, and a mask and glasses, and it's obviously Jungle Boy, and he bangs the cymbals once, too early. Then he yells at him, and then Jack Perry starts attacking him and gets booed. And then MJF gets on top of him and gets cheers. I don't think they picked the right time to do this because Jack Perry is going to get booed heavily. And then security separates them. Here comes Sammy Guevara. Everybody can agree that everybody hates Sammy Guevara because Sammy Guevara is an idiot. And then he holds a championship. If he ever wins a championship, just cancel the company. It's not worth it. Sammy then took on Commander. Commander with a K and one M. Okay, he was the guy in that Face of the Revolution ladder match. It came out of nowhere, at least for anybody that wasn't paying attention to Mexican wrestling. I don't know if he's part of CMLL, AAA. I don't generally care. The guy's fine for what he is. But I wrote down, can't get enough Sammy because I already had my fill of him about 2 years ago, and I can't stand watching this guy. And it was flip-de-doo-dah shit and all this. And Commander can walk the ropes. He can do some cool stuff. And then eventually the GTH 123. That's all I really have to say about this. And then Sammy grabs the mic from Shivani because why would he let somebody hold a mic for him so Sammy doesn't embarrass himself? Remember when Warner Brothers Discovery executives apparently asked for less shits to be said? If I remember right, I think Jericho might have... Somebody said shit. I think that MJF might have actually said it. But okay. Somebody said shit. And then Sammy said 3 of them. I don't care about the swearing. It doesn't fucking matter to me. I don't care about swearing on a wrestling program. I'm also not a cable executive. And if a cable executive, especially one where you're going to go into TV rights negotiations pretty goddamn soon, and you want to get a better, as good of a deal, if not better, maybe you should acquiesce to the, maybe not demand suggestions. But no, Sammy cut a decent promo, and then he would cut it right back down with doing that, but also just kind of getting like, I don't care if you cheer or boo me or whatever. Well, okay, how about indifference? How about we don't react to you at all? And that MJF sold his soul to be a pillar, that he was Tony's friend, he was Cody's friend, it was all this or whatever. I never sold out who I was. You've been a face, you've been a heel, you've been in groups, you haven't been in groups. You kind of have flip-flopped a whole lot. That being said, there we go. That at times it was a decent enough promo, and other times it's like he was just getting lost. Speaking of getting lost, I wish the firm would get lost. I wish everybody involved in the firm would get lost because, quite frankly, I've had it with some of these people that don't really matter. Hook beat Ethan Page because Matt Hardy had enough of his shit and clocked him with the FTW Championship. With a whole bunch of bullshit distractions or whatever. I don't know why. I don't know why they insist on more Matt Hardy on my television. I really don't. Nigel McGuinness and Tony Khan were in the back. Tony Khan, blink, 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 blink. He didn't blink for a minute. He did not blink for a minute. What the hell, Tony? Lay off the Herb Abrams diet and stop. Just stop. Get some help. So, big announcement. Now, it's in the back. A big announcement. Nigel McGuinness, apparently part of AEW, going to probably be part of the Ring of Honor brand, but you know what? That makes sense. So, what's the big announcement? London, England, August 27th, AEW All In. Near the 5-year anniversary of All In happening. God, that makes me feel so old. Cool. Where's it going to be? Adam Cole, baby, shows up to announce it. It's going to be in London Wembley Stadium, which is a 90,000 seat stadium. They're going to do a pay-per-view in... So instead of All Out, they're going to do All In, because if they're going to do All Out, and All In, that's asking a lot of the particular. That's asking a lot of of the fans to plunk down serious money for a pay-per-view, for a pay-per-view in London, and then a pay-per-view a little bit after that. So I think that they're going to replace All Out this time. I mean, I don't know. I'm really genuinely trying, because I looked on a couple listings or whatever, and All In was the last, or the summer pay-per-view listed. So we'll see what happens. Big deal. If they can sell even 50,000 seats or 50,000 tickets for that, that's a big goddamn deal. That's a gamble. That bold. They got the money to do it. Let's see if they do it. I think a lot of the UK fans are going to turn out, and that's going to be a hell of a goddamn show. Running an outdoor stadium, though. Okay. I hope in late August the weather's still going to be good. I don't know much about the weather in the UK. That's a big announcement. I hope that they can succeed. I really hope they can, for the town's sake mostly. So, the Blackpool Combat Club, or as I call them, or as I started to call them, the BBC. I started to call them that actually a number of months ago, and then just decided to suddenly do it again, because why the hell not? Also, it's a funny name. Also, because nobody's from Blackpool that's in the group, but Claudio, Moxley, and Yuta beat up 3 jobbers. Danielson was a ringside, and then Danielson says he loves these 3 people, that Yuta, even if he's a little shithead, that the Warner Bros. Discovery executives are just loving this, and that I love these people or whatever, and that everybody else are amateurs. We're professional wrestlers, they're all amateurs. This is ridiculous or whatever. They're all amateurs. Amateurs. Danielson was doing a good promo here. He was also starting to get a little repetitive. I wonder if he got lost and just started screaming. And I like heel Danielson, because he can do it. And then suddenly, here's Hangman. What do you gotta do, Hangman? And Hangman jumps him 4-on-1. Because Omega apparently isn't there. One of the Bucks is actually injured. Darn, I get to see less Bucks on my television. Maybe that's why this show wasn't all that bad, because the Elite wasn't there. And then they beat the shit out of him. And you don't have anyone that loves you. And Danielson's knocking him. And then suddenly pulls out a screwdriver and says, when I was home, I was teaching my kids how to fix things, like how to fix stuff around the house and everything. And how to, fix all this stuff built by amateurs. He's doing all this stuff about amateurs. And then he takes a screwdriver and jams it in the eye of Hangman. Ow, my eye. I'm not supposed to get screwdrivers in it. He could... I'm sorry, I don't really get the point of that. I don't get why. I mean, I don't mind being a vicious heel, but Moxley already does enough stuff with the weapons and everything and all the bullshit that drags down his actual decent work. And now Danielson's like, I'm just going to jam a screwdriver in your eye. This is not GCW. This actually involves talent. There are actual talents in GCW, but it's just not run by talent. I didn't like the screwdriver thing, because I just thought it was unnecessary. I didn't care about the violence. I just thought it was unnecessary. But okay. He gouged his eye, so now Hangman's going to have no eyes for a while. Or he's going to have an eye patch thing, which they already did with Moxley 3 years ago. FTR gets a big pop. The Guns have 50 Cent's Many Men Wish Death as their theme. I don't know what that cost, but I bet it was a little more than 50 Cent. So then FTR took on the Guns. FTR's career versus the AEW Tag Team Championships of the Guns. Okay. FTR had been on a losing streak. I get the story they were trying to tell, and the Guns did try here. The Guns are not ready. They did everything they could. They were low-blowing. They were cheating. They were trying to use the tag titles to get the victory, to get the referee to throw the stuff out. Cash stopped them, the referee, from doing the DQ. And eventually, they hit a double sunset flip. Well, double sunset flip, roll-up type. 1, 2, 3. It wasn't the best FTR match. In fact, it was one of the worst FTR matches I've seen in a while. And I get the story they were trying to tell, but it's like FTR wasn't bringing the Guns up to their level. They were brought down to the Guns level. Who are trying, but they aren't ready. New tag team champions. Mark Briscoe comes out to celebrate, and that's it. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the show? What do you guys think of them going to London, England? That is a big gamble. I hope it pays off. Agree, disagree, what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Riplin. I'll see you soon.